Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Global Renaissance Podcast, where we have thoughtful conversations on society and self. As always, I'm your host, Trev Woods. I am joined by my dog, my slime, my twin. You know what I'm saying? Nelly Nels, Nelly the Networker. You know what I'm saying?
Nelly the
Alicia.
Nomad.
How you feeling?
I'm tired.
It be like
It's
that.
been a long day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm feeling great.
Today
Back
drained
here
me.
with my twin today did drain me,
It be
but it's
like
all
that.
good. We gonna put this
You
aside
feel me?
for the
We're
pod.
gonna have a very unserious. Well, it's kind of a serious conversation, but it's also gonna be
Serious, but-
kind of unserious. Today, we're recording this February 8th, but this is gonna be the Valentine's Day episode. Y'all know how it gets down. And generally, I try to avoid doing the relationship discourse because I feel like that's what everybody with a podcast mic does, and it's kind of annoying. But in honor of Valentine's Day, we're gonna do it. I had a conversation with my boys last year about kind of like the idea of love and stuff like that. But we just talking about straight like relationship discourse today. So that's what we're getting into. So first and foremost, what is your relationship status?
I'm single.
Dang, that's
I'm
crazy.
single.
Nobody wants you?
What we're not gonna do on the podcast is put all my business out in the streets. But I'm single, focusing on my career.
Getting to that money.
Newly graduated,
Get to
focusing
that
on
money.
me, getting to that money.
You know what I'm saying?
We
No, I love that
vibing.
for you.
We vibing.
I love that for you. I think we need to start with the allegations that we can never beat. So, right, me and Ellie were friends, right? But she's a woman and I'm a man. And so, like the allegations that come along with that. What are your thoughts on being friends with someone of the opposite gender?
I think, Trev, we just gotta give the people what they want at this. I can't even look at you say with a straight face. I think people gas it, like they overdo it when it comes to this conversation. It's like you can have friends of the opposite sex, you can have friends of the opposite gender. Just because you are friends with someone who's a girl and you're a guy doesn't mean that y'all want each other. Like,
Facts.
I don't want this man. He don't want me. Like, we good. And
She do on the low, but it's okay. We don't even worry about that. Yo, that was the ugliest laugh ever. Oh my god.
don't make me walk up out of the studio. And I swear, you
Oh my god. Okay.
You know who I
Alright.
want. Don't even put that in there.
No. I'm cutting that. I'm cutting. Oh my god, the bloopers are gonna go crazy. Okay.
No, please don't put that in there.
I'm not
Okay.
gonna put that in there. You think I would expose you like
Yes.
that?
Yes.
Nah, that's
Yes.
wild.
Yes,
I
absolutely.
wouldn't expose you like that. I might like keep it in there, but like bleep it out. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, anyway, I see you plotting, but it's a funny conversation because I've always been a type. Something in my eye, but I've always been the type to have like a lot of female friends. And it's never. Well, I shouldn't say it's never been an issue because it's not like when I was in high school I was getting women like at all. Anyway, I went to all boys school, so that's not my fault. I was also
surrounded by a bunch of dudes.
I was also swaggerless
Ugly.
too. Couldn't dress. Not that I really can now, but it's like we're better. We're better.
I
We're
like the fit
we're
today.
passable.
Yellow with the
Thank you.
yellow.
You know what I'm saying?
Olive with the green.
Type
Black
shit.
with the black.
Thank you. But I remember my freshman year, my friend group, there was like 5 of us. And it was me and the 2 dudes became our roommates, and then our 2 other female friends. And one of them I hung out with a ton just because I think our schedules overlapped. And the girl I was seeing at the time, I remember one day she was just like mad upset. I'm like, what's wrong? You know how y'all be doing. Nothing. It's like, you sitting on the edge of the bell all the way over there, like clearly sounds you got a long face. Like, what are you talking about? She was like, oh, like you be with da 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 da. I'm like, you really think? Is that what you think? Come to find out, some people was chatting with some ulterior motives or whatever. It was real messy, and I was like, first of all, again, I came from all boys school, like in high school, so I'm like, is this what happens? I had no clue. But anyway, that was kind of my first run into the whole like people don't like that, which I didn't know. I don't care personally. Like if I'm dealing with a woman who has male friends, like I don't care. I think it's honestly weird if you don't have friends of the opposite gender.
I agree.
I don't personally care, but I also am the type of person where I believe like if they gonna cheat, they gonna cheat. Right? So if I tell you can't talk to this person or you gotta cut this person off, like if you was trying to deal with them, you're still gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? Me saying you can't like be friends with them ain't gonna stop you. So I just never seen a point in worrying about that. Like, are you that insecure? But everybody different. I know I've dealt with some people who don't like you.
For the ladies that are out here and might be watching Trevor's podcast and they want this man, go ahead and get him. I'm not your enemy. Like,
That's a
if
fact.
anything, I'm your biggest ally. I'm your
Facts.
biggest ally. And I think also just to kind of continue with the conversation, people expect you sometimes in relationships to cut off your friends that you have of the opposite sex, the opposite gender. And it's like, realistically speaking, if I'm just starting to talk to you, even if we're down the line, what makes you think in your mind that I'm just gonna cut off my friend? Like, Trevor is your biggest ally.
I'm rooting for
He's
you,
your
bro.
biggest ally.
I'm rooting for
And
you.
I just think that it's like, okay, if you had to make someone choose between your friend and them and they're just entering your life, at the end of the day, baby, you're gonna be very upset because
Facts.
you get in the boot.
Yeah.
You're getting the boot.
Yeah.
And yeah, like it's just
Oh,
You
you're
can't-
hilarious.
Namely, I don't know if he's gonna put this in there, but namely for one,
Like
a
I
few
said,
other
I'm gonna just
people.
bleep it out.
It's just like, you know, you have nothing to worry about when it comes to.
She was tight too. She was super tight. All right, so yeah, I have to tell the story. I was dealing with this girl just for a quick, brief, little second, and
Goofy. Sorry.
she was cool. She was cool. People, it was like we just didn't really want the same thing at the time. No problem, whatever. So we stopped talking. Then I went down to DC for Howard Homecoming, and I had bought you a Telfair bag. And so you posted me on your story when we were driving down, and then you posted me with the bag. And I remember I was talking to Shorty like a week or two later. She was like, "Oh, you buy her a bag, you ain't buying me a bag." I'm like, "Yo, we don't even talk. Like we don't even talk like that." She's like, "Oh, she probably wants da da da." I'm like, what I don't like is this idea that if I tell you what it is, you don't believe me, right? Like I can't be dealing with you if that's the case. Because again, I'm a friendly person. I don't know. I know a lot of people say they don't like a friendly ass nigga. I'm really friendly to like everybody. So if you're the type of person that's kind of off put by that, we're never gonna work because I'm gonna be around men and women equally, and I'm gonna be friendly to them all. Don't think I'm about to start being mean because you're insecure. So that's my 2 cents on the matter. So if you was dealing with a man and he had a girl best friend, you'd be cool with that.
I would be cool with it. I think that it would also have to be like a set precedent, like, okay, this is my girl, like this is my girl best friend, like this is my homegirl, just like it would be with me. Like, okay, just so you know, like this is my friend Trevor. Y'all probably gonna end up meeting. Hopefully y'all become friends. But I think it's a difference because some people kind of move kind of shicey about it.
Yeah.
And then that's when it's like, okay, maybe y'all are low key
like
messing with
there
each
was
other.
something
Maybe
there.
there was something there. But I think when that is set, and you can tell off of people's vibes.
Facts.
If they might have had history or not, if there was something that's underlying, you can tell. So I wouldn't necessarily care
if there was so let's say for example, dude and Shorty, they like had a thing a couple years ago, but they've been cool since. Like what's the kind of line for you where it's like, ooh,
I don't like that. I don't like that.
So if there was ever any romantic or sexual involvement, it's
definitely not sexual. I don't like that because it's like if you're my man and you have, you know, your girl best friend, y'all have a sexual past or whatever, obviously I'm gonna be hanging out with you. They have that role in your life. They're probably gonna be hanging out with you too. I'm gonna be hanging out, like it's just gonna be weird, and I don't like that, and I feel like something is always going to be there. It's not a trust issue thing because it's like, okay, I'm gonna trust my partner, but and how does that even come up unless you like said it then and there? Then I have to make the decision: do I want to continue with this or not? Not down the line. I then find out that you have a sexual history.
Nah, but what if homeboy's like, yo, this is my friend, but like, 4 years ago, we hooked up for like 2 months, and then we're like, nah, this is not.
I would have to think really long and hard about it. Is leaning towards no, but like I get it. Shit happens. People change. People grow. But at the same time, it's like, so like, what's what's going on here? Or like, there would have to be a set boundary. Whereas, okay, maybe we're not hanging out as much, or just making sure that you're not putting yourselves in a position where it's going to negatively impact our relationship. People might not agree with that, and that's fine.
It's not.
But
it's not them. Everybody has their own personal standards. And speaking of personal standards, come on, that segment was crazy. When you think about what it is you would want in a potential partner, what does that list or idea consist of?
Beautiful, God-fearing black man. I have my list though.
Should I get into it?
I'm gonna read the whole thing.
I mean, you don't have to read the whole thing, but let's get into some of the strong points.
Let's see. Some of my non-negotiables. Ladies, fellas too, make yourselves a nice non-negotiable list,
I don't have a list, but when you know.
Now for me, I need I had them in my head already, but seeing it, it's like, okay, Yes, understood. So, for
I feel it.
one, let's see. I have a lot.
I know. That's why I
Um,
said you ain't gotta give the whole list, but like, yeah, that list is thick. I've seen it.
it's a
It's
lot. He's seen it. He's read it. For one, um, they have to be able to take accountability. I don't like
talk about it.
when someone they just can't take accountability. If you were in the wrong, you know you're
We
wrong.
can't even be friends if you can't take accountability.
I don't
Honestly,
like that
we
at
don't.
all.
We don't
And
even need to like
it's like, how
be
old
cool.
are we? How old are we? I don't like
Facts.
that. Um, don't yell at me. Don't curse me out. Like that right there, automatically,
Be
I'm shutting
civil.
down.
Be civil.
And now I'm gonna have to have my guard up every time that we're encountered. No,
Mm-hmm.
that's a big no.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Man of God, actively pursuing his own relationship with Christ, is one for me as well.
Amen.
You know, has a
What if?
car.
Wait, hold on.
Oh,
What if he goes to church on Sunday, not Saturday? Is that a problem?
that's fine. I've actually never been. I'm Seventh Day Adventist, so I go to church on Saturdays. I've never been with the Seventh Day Adventist man. Yeah, not to say that's like intentional, but I've never been with the Seventh Day Adventist man. So
Yet.
when?
Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
Woo!
I'm so oh,
Anyway.
this is bad.
Anyway, going on. I'm moving right along.
Moving on.
Not a pothead. Me personally, I don't like the smell of weed.
Mm,
I don't smoke weed, and I'm big into like fragrance. And it's like my nose is going to turn up if you come up in my bubble and you're just smelling like a bunch of weed. No, I can't do that. I like to be all up on you. I can't do that if you're just out here stinking. I don't like it. Secondly, has a car. 'Cause I don't have a car, and we can't both be taking public transportation. We can't both be doing it. Okay, that's
so
no.
I need to teach her how to drive, and it ain't gonna be me.
Yeah, your viewers, friends.
Hey, listen, we throwing lives. I try to, no lie, no lie, no lie, no lie. I still have the screenshot. She posted something. This is when you were in France, I think, for the wedding. She posted something. Look great. I was gonna repost it. I was gonna repost it and be like, yo, who wanna lie?
Yo, he trying to pit me out. Like,
I
what does he take me for?
I'm just trying to help you out. I'm just, you know what I'm saying?
I'm the common harlot.
It's not even that. I'm just trying to get you some more options. That's all.
It's okay. It's okay.
Options are.
I promise you, it's okay.
Oh, my fault.
It's
She said
okay.
I don't need no help. My bad.
It's okay.
My bad.
Let's see.
Knows. My fault.
There's a lot of stuff on this list. Has sisters or close female family in his life? That's a big one for me because I think that you learn about like interacting with the other sex and just interacting with people. You know, when you have like those close family bonds because they're gonna call you out on your bullshit. You can be real with them. They know you for who you actually are, not a facade that you're putting up for everybody else. So that's a big one on my list. Huh. Haha. Let's see. Hold on. Wants children from his wife. Not no baby mother. We're not doing a baby mama. We're not doing stepmom. But wants children from his wife and wants to be a father. That's big on my list. Let's see. And just like a couple more. Valid U.S. passport. Because I can't be taking these trips by myself.
What if he has a valid passport that's not from the U.S.?
If he can travel and we can travel to different countries.
You good.
And we can travel inside the United States.
You're good.
Then I'm good.
Word.
But valid, passport. There was a French guy, so he doesn't have a U.S. passport.
International with it. International knows don't play with her.
It's funny. He's probably gonna watch this and have no idea what we're saying, but
and that's great.
Mon amour. Anyway, that's on there. Couple more. We have to get along well with each other's families. Like that's a must.
Yeah.
I come from a big family-oriented family, and there's no reason why we can't invite you to, a function that's going on, and vice versa. Like I want to be there. He gonna be there. He gonna be there. Are you gonna be there? Like that's the question.
Is you gonna be there, homie?
Are you gonna be there?
I want to see you there.
It's funny. I don't know if I was talking to you specifically, or maybe a girl you were talking to, or about a girl you were talking to on some. If y'all end up getting married, I'm gonna be there. Are you gonna be there? Ladies, y'all gonna be there?
Yo.
I'll be there. Shoot, fix up. But yeah, so those are a few on my list.
Are you gonna be there?
And I guess like a few deeper ones. Officially planning a first date. For me, like in so many aspects of my life, I'm like the project manager. I'm planning everything out. I'm talking about like from it comes to like my birthday, when it comes to work stuff, when it comes to family stuff. So I want you to be able to take the reins and for me to just be. plan that first date. Ideally, you're not telling me where we're going. Like, I want to be surprised. Oh my God, wow. Oh my gosh, you put so much thought into it. Like, I just want to be. I'm just a girl. Here's what I'm saying. I'm just a girl. I just want to
It's like
be.
my least favorite phrase in
That's
the world.
that's a big one. There's so many things on
All
this.
right, well, that's enough of your list.
Can I just say one more?
Go ahead.
There's a lot.
I know. That's why I said that's enough of your list. You're
Okay,
gonna be
wait. I
going
just
for the
want
next
one more.
40 minutes.
I just want to wait one more. My last one is just overall a well mannered and nice person. Like, I can't be with anybody disrespectful or stank. Treating, what we think of like as society, like lesser jobs, bad. Like, you need to be a great, pleasant person all around. And that, if you're not, yeah, it's not gonna
It's
work.
not gonna work.
It's not gonna work.
Very fair. Very fair. I love the list. I personally don't have a list. Like I said, I'm a very much if you know, you know. Like, cause the thing is, I'm so principled that I feel like I can really tell super fast when like you align with somebody or not. I've been single for quite some time. It's been a little while, but I've been dating though. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not like out in the streets or nothing, but like you know what I'm saying? Like I move and shake or whatever. And there have been there have been a couple people where I'm like, you're cool, you're attractive, but we're not here. And that to me, I think is the most important thing because at the end of the day, like, yeah, I mean, attraction is important, but that's only gonna get you through the door. Like, you have to be attractive. Like, don't get that twisted. Like, it's your personality not gonna carry you if you're not attractive. But did you have something to say?
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
On the topic. Tell the people, Trevor, what's your type? Are you gonna tell the people?
Are you trying to get me canceled? My type is beautiful black women. Well, actually, let me clarify. My type, because it's for me, it's two kind of approaches to dating. It's casual and serious, right? Casual, if you're attractive, we could, you know what I'm saying, we could talk, we could converse, we could hang out, we could date, we could do whatever. If we're talking about serious relationships, like we're planning for a future together. Like that's black women for real. Now I'm not gonna say like 100% only. Like you know what I'm saying. Like my mind could be changed depending on the situation, but for the most part, like it's black women. And I just don't feel like if I go any deeper into that, like the categories, I don't feel like this is gonna end well for me. So I'm gonna just leave it right there. Beautiful black women, well educated. You know. Takes care of themselves. They're into their hygiene. You know what I'm saying? They're active. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't got to be like the biggest gym rat in the world, but you can't not be active. That's not gonna work for me. Artistically, like in tune. Like, you don't have to be an artist necessarily, but you gotta appreciate art and creativity because that's really big for me. You gotta value family. You gotta want a family because if we're not having kids, what are we doing? Like, that's like obviously not right now, but you know what I'm saying. If that's not on the roadmap, then
Ladies,
we
you wanna
don't.
be a father.
We don't. I'm a family man for real. So like, if we're not, if we're not on the same page about that, then it doesn't really make sense. But we keep cash, but like on some serious stuff, it doesn't make sense. I said well educated. You gotta be able to hold a conversation. Like if I don't like talking to you, that's how I learned one time. There was somebody who, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna lie. I used to not be a good person. I had my little phase where I was trifling. And this person kind of caught the brunt of a lot of that. But I was like, no. They saw it like I'm finna. But then I realized I just don't like talking to them. And if I don't like talking to you, like where is this going?
It's gonna be really funny when these people are looking at this video and thinking, "Who? Like, is he talking about me?"
You know what? If I were to talk about one person, she's gonna know exactly that I'm talking about her.
I know exactly who you're talking about. Too.
I know you know who I'm.
Where you at, girl?
You're crazy. What if I forget to edit that?
You didn't forget. You know that good and darn well.
That's my wife. Like, awesome. Okay. I don't know how to talk about this like in a general way. I can't go there. I'm not going there.
What are you gonna say?
I'm not going there. I was gonna talk about like my absolute delusion.
We don't need to go there.
But yeah, we don't need to go there. Back to what the fuck I was talking about before this. What was I talking about? Standards? I think I went through my standards. Educated, pretty, good teeth. Good teeth matter a lot.
Teeth looking like.
Yeah, I can't have that. Come on now. You know what? Based off of just physical appearance, right? Like the face card is the most important. Like body type matters. Like I like athletic or like fit, like through a range of body types, but like fit, right? But if your face don't make me say, damn, she gorgeous. It's not gonna work. Cause me, I'm the type, I like to be very complimentary. You know, I have a way with words, as they say. My Riz is crazy. No, just kidding.
Yana.
Should we call your friends? Should we call your friends? Is that what we need to do?
We don't need to do all that. We don't need to do all
You know, and the other thing about the allegations is so funny. This is like people like, oh, you guys. I'm like, I talk to all their friends. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. But shout out to you. Shout out to you for real. Like, she be accidentally throwing lobs. And she be like, don't talk to her. I'm like, well, it's kind of too late.
I be telling them, too, don't talk to him. Y'all be...
Look at this face.
No, because I don't want Trevor not associating, but messing with any of my girls. Because if something were to go left, they're both going to be yapping in my ear about the situation. And it's like,
that's true.
Y'all made your own bed. Figure it the fuck out. That ain't got nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with me. And y'all just going, please, just be friends. Just be cool. That's all you gotta do.
And you know what? I feel that. I do feel that. I feel like I do it now more so just piss you off. Like
terrible.
I just get kind of a rise out of it.
It's like, terrible.
I just be like, guess who I DM today? Guess who liked my story?
Anyway.
Guess who I was just on FaceTime with for 4 hours? What's our next topic? Okay. Oh, yes. It's time for the gender roles discussion. Yes. We're going to talk about how gender roles affect behavior and expectations in a relationship. Mm-hmm. So, preliminary thoughts. I'm trying to be, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to keep
specific,
it. Okay, I'll start. So I'm going to speak from a man's perspective of like, what do I feel like are the kind of uniquely male expectations for a relationship? I'll start there. So first of all, I mean, you know, the internet loves the conversation around like protection and provision. And I think that's an important thing, but I also do think that like, chill, right? Like there's a lot, it's a big ask, right? Like I think as a woman, you don't quite understand everything that goes into that idea. Like I was on TikTok earlier and I saw someone talking about the sidewalk rule. I think that's the dumbest shit ever. I do it,
disagree.
But it's dumb as fuck because it doesn't have any practical value, right? Like if a car runs up on this curb, we both getting hit. You get what I'm saying?
But I think it's also just like the principle of it.
No, it's not the principle. It's that it's built out of this idea of protection, but it actually does not come, like there's no actual protection happening here. Like again, if a car come up, we both fuck. It don't matter it don't matter who's closer.
Yes, but it's like, okay, if I'm walking on the outside of the sidewalk, I'm gonna feel like, okay, so something were to happen, like I'm putting myself in the role of protecting you. No.
It's not
Thankfully, I've never had to have that, get brought up because niggas know. Guys know.
But the thing is, again, the expectation that I am to make the sacrifice all the time, right? I think as a man in a relationship, that tends to be what happens, right? Just on a physical level, right? Like if someone came rob you, you're not finna do shit, right? Like I gotta do that, right? How that phrase go? Happy wife, happy life. Like the idea that you're supposed to put your needs on the back burner in order to make sure everybody else is good is a very like patriarchal standard that affects men. And I think I don't necessarily mind. Like I like being a reliable person. I like being relied upon. But I do think that there is a lack of acknowledgement of just how much like that requires and that takes. And to just assume that should be done simply because you're a woman, that's kind of where I'm like, because what are you saying? What are you saying about your like status as a woman if you are just entitled to this? It creates a dynamic that I don't necessarily think we as a society want to flesh out fully. But if you're going to create that dynamic, you can't be mad when it shows itself in other situations. Does that make sense?
What dynamic specifically?
I'm here, you're here, right? Like you're just a girl. You're just a girl. You're just a girl.
That I disagree with because I mean, obviously, like both of us aren't married, aren't in a serious relationship, so this whole conversation can change.
In my head, I am.
Like, this whole conversation can change in maybe a year or two, but I do think
Or
that
like 6 months. Just let me.
please come get this.
Please
Anyway.
do, please do.
Anyway,
Save me from the streets. It's ghetto out here.
I don't think that it's necessarily a I'm a peer, you're a peer, and I think societal speaking, like we definitely do impose certain expectations on each other as men and as women. Women, trying to make men be a bank. Men just looking for a trophy. But I think that it also varies from a
trophy. Sorry.
I think it also varies from a case by case basis, and it is specific to a relationship and like how you are with a certain person.
Sure, but I feel like we were talking about general societal expectations at this current moment, and like I do think that in general, again, I'm just a girl. Like you don't understand how much y'all use that to dodge accountability and responsibility. Like, oh, I want to turn my brain off when I'm around my man.
I do agree with you.
You get what I'm saying?
I do agree with you.
That's kind of the general attitude towards relationships, and I think again it creates this dynamic where a relationship is about serving the woman. Now, I think that's the right thing to do, but I think it should be serviced in both ways. I just don't think the general discourse has gotten that far yet, right? We've had this whole sassy man thing has become whatever, but I think all of these things are remnants of the same kind of what's the word on phenomenon, right? They're all kind of stemming from the same place, and I think we don't do a great job as a society of saying like, oh, like all of these things come from the same place. Now, these manifest in such an obviously negative way that we're gonna address it, but these things not so much. So we're kind of just gonna let them cook. I think that's the problem that I have.
How do you think it's gonna be addressed, or how do you?
I don't think it is.
How do you think it can be solved?
I don't think it can be, honestly.
That's dramatic as fuck.
I don't think it can be solved. I don't believe in people that much, like as a collective. I don't believe in people that much. So I don't think it's going to. I don't think people care enough about other people to do that. But I think on an individual basis, again, I think it requires a level of just kind of self-awareness, but also like societal awareness of like, okay, what do I expect of another person? Like I won't ever expect a woman to take on like an undue emotional burden just because she's a woman. As a matter of, I can't get it. I'm gonna get into it. I don't know, man. I see women talk about they want an emotionally intelligent. I don't know if a lot of y'all is built for that, for real, because that takes work and that takes accountability. So when I tell you, oh, just because you're in your feelings doesn't mean you can talk any type of way, and doesn't mean what you're saying is right. Because I argue, like I'm not finna just let you have it.
I think you also need to consider how the person receives information and receives feedback. I think that's a big part of emotional intelligence that people don't really acknowledge. And that emotional intelligence is something going on with the camera?
Let's go, keep going.
Isn't just like, okay, you understanding feelings, but it's how you understand yourself and society as it pertains to how you guys interact. And so I think that when you're just, like, for example, what you just said, someone might not take that the way that you intended for it to be taken, even though you're right.
Facts.
And I think that people need to have, like, incorporate that into their, like, emotional intelligence journey, their EQ journey, pertaining to just how they are learning how to speak to people. Say Trevor came in, his haircut was fucked up. Like, twin. Like, since it's Trevor and we have this relationship, I'd be like, yo, your hairline crooked.
Stop, nigga.
It's looking like this. Why are you looking like this? I gotta look at you sideways. Whereas someone else might not take it.
Right.
To that. I can't just walk up to somebody I just met. Yo, by the way, like, you need to.
Your shit, fuck. No, but at the same time, though, you do need to take into account how someone's going to respond to something. But also, as the recipient of information, sometimes you need to check yourself and saying, I'm being too emotional about this. And I don't think that's a conversation that gets had a lot. Where it's like, if I deliver some information, right? If I deliver some information, and it's kind of just like pretty neutral, right? Like, I don't do a lot of massaging of information. Like, I kind of just deliver it.
Example?
Now, I don't know. I couldn't think of something off the top of the head. But just like, I don't know. If you like, do you like this? I'm like, not really. You asked me a question, I answered it. Like, I didn't massage it, but I just answered the question. Right now, you feel a type of way, and I'm like, well, you asked me a question, so in asking me a question, you do know that there is a possibility that my answer is not affirmative. So if I do respond in a way that's not affirmative, I don't think it's appropriate or fair to expect me to massage that, right? I think if you say, "Do you like this?" and I say no, you're like, "Well, like you're being too emotional about that."
Too emotional. Too emotional.
Yeah.
Too emotional. I don't know if I like that. I don't know if I like that.
Well,
Cause
you know what? Your emotions are fine, but don't put them on me, right? Like that's something you have to contend with because again, you ask a question and questions have multiple potential responses. And if you know that, again, I always say don't ask questions you don't want the answer to. So if you're not prepared for all the potential answers, don't ask me the question because that's really on you, not me.
I think that, like, kind of just to take a step back, I think that goes into you learning your partner, or even just as people learning that individual. Because it's like you and I can have that and be like, okay, all right, cool. But I already know that he's like that. So I think that approaching it from a standpoint of, okay, hey, babe, hey, stink, whatever it is that you gonna call your little thing.
So,
Hey,
hey, stink.
stink.
Hey,
I love
Pookie.
you when it's hey,
Shout out,
stink.
shout out to
But-
that one shorty that got a boyfriend.
Oh my gosh.
Shout out to you.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Leave my friends alone.
But
anyway.
I wasn't talking about her, but shout out to you
Oh.
too.
Trevor a hoe. Anyway, I think that like coming into it, for example, like with that example that he just said, coming into it, you're learning somebody, you're getting to know them. Hey, by the way, when I say yes, it's yes. When I say no, it's no. And that can, have a lot of future problems be alleviated. And not necessarily, oh my God, well, he said, what is he really thinking? Like, what do you really mean? No, like I told you from get-go. And you might have to repeat it a few times.
But
You might have to,
but do
I
understand
told you.
That's ridiculous for me to have to say when I say yes, it means yes, and when I say no, it means no.
But our minds work differently.
Yeah,
though.
but it's ridiculous, and
Our
I
minds work
hear you.
differently.
But I think the point is, our minds work differently means that I have to like conform to yours, right? Whereas like, okay, there's this.
I don't agree with that.
Okay,
ahead,
but if we're using the same kind of context that we're speaking on right now, if I and believe me, oh my God, I've had many situations. I'ma just believe what you say. Your words is your words, and my words is my words. So if you say something, I'm assuming you mean it. You want me to read into it? Say what you mean what you say. Very simple. I feel like that's the most simple way to live, right? So if I say what I mean and mean what I say, and you like to read into stuff, and our minds are wired differently, which one makes more sense? Like which approach to communication makes more sense? Saying what you mean
what you say approach makes more sense. But
so why should
this is how I communicate and this is how I receive communication. You can't just be trying to read between the lines because what I said is what I mean.
But that's my point, right? If I'm what I said is what I mean person, and you're like, well, I shouldn't have to come over to you need to come over here because you're living in a world that's not real. Like I said what I said. That is the point of communication is to express what it is you're trying to get across. So if you're sitting there and saying, well, like, I don't know what you meant by that. Like, you're tweaking. You're actually tweaking.
I disagree. I don't think it's one coming over here, one coming over there. I think it's somewhat of a meet in the middle. And
how do you meet
like
in the middle?
For me, I'm a big overthinker. And so, yes, okay. What you meant is what you meant. What you said is what you said. Cool. But like it doesn't hurt.
Can you just reassure me?
Reassurance or like just give like a tiny little explanation. I would love that. I would love that because it's like at the end of the day, if I'm like, yes, no, cool, that's how you need it, bet. Yes, no. But maybe I need just a little bit of something because my mind might vary off into whatever direction and you just being like, okay, no, and ... Cool. Easy.
So ask for a reason. If you ask a question, you ask a yes or no question, I give you yes or no. If you want a reason, ask for a reason.
Into.
The reason?
Yeah.
So just ask for the reason.
Give like a little explanation.
So ask for the reason then.
I would love someone just
That's your problem. That's the problem. That's the problem right there. That's the problem right there. You want mind readers. This is not how this works.
No, I didn't say that.
Niggas is talking about, I want to communicate.
That's not what I said.
Did you not just say, I just want someone who gets it?
That's not what I said.
What did you say then?
You cut me off. Oh, yeah. Shut up. Anyway, nigga. Like, just provide the explanation. Nigga.
Nigga. Hey, happy Black History Month, my niggas. You see, I got the Kente H, you feel me? Say no to snow bunnies. Actually, if some of y'all see this and you back.
Anyway. Let's reel it back. What I was saying was like, okay, I wouldn't mind an explanation, not
Also, your
just.
alarm's about to go off.
What time is it right now? Okay, understood. Yeah, not necessarily. I just want someone who gets it because no one's automatically going to get it. But I know that, like, when I first start talking to somebody, I'm very much okay. You know what? I'm a big overthinker. I'm just letting you know right now. So, providing me with a little explanation or reasoning would help me out in terms of not jumping to conclusions because I know I can jump to conclusions even if it is just a simple, straight answer. So not necessarily I want somebody who gets it, but I would love for somebody to provide, just a little bit of reasoning or a little bit of explanation. I'm not saying that has to be like every single time.
What if you stopped overthinking? You ever consider that? What if you just stopped overthinking?
It's like,
I
think it's easier said than what if you were a better person?
Well,
what if
maybe I'd have my life.
maybe you would. Maybe you would.
I think I might have struck a nerve there, guys.
Sorry.
My apologies. I was just joking. Don't hate me.
Anyway.
That eye roll was vicious. Oh my goodness. She might be mad for real.
Never that. I will say, this is very off topic.
Anyway, that's fine.
Very off topic. But did I say it on the phone? The nurse said that I have great blood pressure.
You did.
I did say that.
You did. And that's a rarity for black people.
Like, she said, wow.
It's probably because you're vegan.
I don't know if that's what she just said. You have no stress. I could tell. No one stresses you out.
And that's because you don't deal with women. Boom.
Trevor's so stupid. Trevor, get back on track. Get back on track. You had another question preprepared.
Did I have another question prepared?
I think so. You said something.
We were talking about gender roles and shit. That kind of went off sideways. We talked. Did we talk? Oh, we didn't talk about past relationships. We don't got time for that shit for real.
Past relationships. If you can say maybe one or two things that you learned either about yourself or about yourself in relationships from your past relationships. And by relationships, I don't just mean
like
you guys
the official ones.
Yeah,
no, I know.
So,
because Lord knows I done had a lot of relationships that weren't really relationships.
Ooh.
Not
just your encounters. Your encounters with
my engagements.
Your engagements.
Conquest,
if you will.
Yeah, we locked in. All right. No. Yeah, we're mad and serious. All right. So I think one of the biggest things I learned from just being in a relationship with women is that you cannot love someone into loving you. I love hard, right? Like I be fake gangster for real. No, I'm lying. I don't even be trying to hide it. Like I'm like really a nice nigga. Even though everybody, you know what? Side note, I don't know why everybody I feel like the most common description I get from, oh, you a hoe. Where you come up with that from? You just met me. You don't know me. Could you just call me handsome? Like, I don't understand why you need to be combative about this. I will take a compliment. I don't get that many of them. That's the other thing. Everybody always like, I don't want to give you compliments and make your head bigger. First of all, my hair already big as shit. It's not getting bigger, literally
that's why
or
Trevor
figuratively.
Walk to the side sometimes because he be leaning.
All right,
like if you really look at Trevor,
that's enough for you.
Trevor, like
that's enough for you. That's enough for you. Back to my original point before I was rudely interrupted and insulted.
My apologies.
You ain't sorry. It probably will. Anyway, I believe in love. I think love is a powerful thing. Not just like romantically, but like also familially, platonically, right? I believe in showing up for people and all that. So there have been times where I showed up more than it was warranted, and I didn't recognize that my energy and efforts weren't being reciprocated to separate myself. So that was one thing, like, people will take advantage of you. Like, if you don't know how to set boundaries and stand on your standards, people are going to take advantage of you. And while that might not be the right thing and you shouldn't have to police other people's behavior, you do. What's good, y'all? Trevor here. Just wanted to explain the abrupt ending to the episode. So we had recorded probably 15 more minutes of the conversation, but we had taken a break in between what you just heard and that last part, and Nelly had to like run to a meeting on her laptop, and it ended up creating a bunch of feedback, so the audio just is not worth including. So I hope you guys enjoyed the 30 or so minutes of the conversation that you did hear. I enjoyed it. I think it was good quality stuff, and my intention is to do a part 2 of sorts whenever Nelly returns to the area. She's out and about moving around, but she said she'll be back soon. So whenever she comes back around and we get the opportunity, we'll do a second part of this episode again. I think it was a really refreshing conversation and a refreshing take on the relationship discourse that we see on the internet. So if you guys enjoyed it, let me know. I'm planning on doing a part 2. If you guys want to connect with Nalisha, her Instagram is Nalisha_, but rather than an E, it's an X. So that's NXLLISHA_. It'll be linked in the description. You can go ahead and follow her, connect with her. You guys know where to find me. As always, I am on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at _Trev Woods. The podcast is on Instagram and TikTok at the Global Renaissance Pod. If you guys are listening to this on an audio platform like Spotify or Apple Podcasts or Google Podcasts or whatever, please leave a rating and a review. It helps me a ton. It helps get it seen, but it also gives me information to improve the podcast. And then if you guys are listening or watching this on YouTube, leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Again, all of that is feedback for me, but it also helps me, grow the show, which is ultimately my goal. I want to share this with as many people as possible because I think the conversations we have are insightful. So I appreciate all of you guys for tuning in to another episode of the Global Renaissance Podcast, and I will catch you all on the next one.